Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhar Vikagiridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Vihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shritarashita Shmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudev Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shritarashita Shmad Bhaktivedānta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shritarashita Shmad Bhaktivedānta Swami Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shritarashita Shmad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shritarashita Shmad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Ki Jai Nityalala Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Śrī Rūpānu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Śrī Rūpa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Śrī Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shar Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai Śrī Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandadi Śrī Gaur Prayāsa Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gora Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Ki Jai Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. One second. Where is the, there it is. Okay. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, Yugal Kishore Kishori Didi, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Krishna Mai Didi, Kana Haladar Prabhu, Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantra Murti Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Let's see on YouTube and Facebook. Where is it? There. Haribo, Vrinda Didi. And I see maybe Indira Mataji is there, and I see a few other devotees. If you write a comment, I'll see your name, I'll see who you are. Dandavat Pranams. So we are continuing on with our reading of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's 12 articles on the second and third verses of Upadeśāmṛta. Yesterday we read the first article. So the first set of 6 articles is on the topic of the 6 things that impede bhakti. And yesterday we read about the first one, which is atyahara. That means overeating or over collecting. And today we will read about the next one is prayāsa. I think it's over-endeavouring. So let's begin. One second, let me just get the file open. Okay, there it is. Prayāsa. Okay. Okay. Let me just move this up. Where is it? Prayāsa. Did I skip it? I think I skipped it. There it is. Prayāsa, over-endeavoring. Bhakti. Oh, wait, let me just look at the comments really quick. I see there are a bunch of comments. Can I give a synopsis of yesterday's class? God, I'm not good at doing that. um, okay, I'll just find something from yesterday's class. So we know ahar means food. Atya ati means too much. So atyahar means too much food. But Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says that this doesn't just refer to this refers to food for all the senses. So yeah, food for this, for the stomach is, that's normal food. But then there's food for the eyes, there's food for, which through beautiful things to see, food for the ears, the music and things like that. There's food. So this refers to over collecting through any of the senses. Oh God, what is up with you? Sorry. Um, I'm not good at doing summaries though. You can see yesterday's video if you'd like to. Okay. To prayas, over-endeavoring. Bhakti does not appear unless one first renounces prayas. The word prayas in the second verse of Śrī Upadeśāmṛta indicates exertion or effort. The ultimate attainment is pure devotion to Bhagavan and nothing else. Surrender, sharanagati, and being under guidance, anugatya, are symptoms of devotion to the lotus feet of Bhagavan, and both comprise the perfected nature and eternal occupation of the living entity. Let me just reread that because I spaced out for a second. Surrender, sharanagati, and being under guidance, anugatya, are symptoms of devotion to the lotus feet of Bhagavan, and both comprise the perfected nature and eternal occupation of the living entity. Interesting. Sharanagati and anugatya, being under guidance. Therefore, bhakti is the living entity's natural function or innate activity. Although an innate activity does not require endeavor, performing bhakti sadhana requires a slight amount of endeavor when the living entity is in a conditioned state. All other types of endeavors, aside from this slight endeavor, are unfavorable for bhakti. It's interesting how he says slight endeavor. Performing bhakti sadhana requires a slight amount of endeavor when the living entity is in a conditioned state. Okay, there are two types of prayas. There's Gyan Prayas and Karma Prayas. The result of Gyan Prayas is realization of complete non-duality, or in other words, merging into the featureless aspect of Brahma, Sayujya Mukti. This is also called Brahma Nirvana. The endeavor for Gyan is opposed to Bhakti. Jnana Prayas, endeavoring for impersonal knowledge, is an impediment to the ultimate goal of life. There's much evidence of this in the Vedas. Mundaka Upanishad 3.2.3 has clarified. Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo na medhayana bahuna shrutena yame vaishavrinute tena labhyas tasyaisha atma vivrinute tanung swam. One cannot attain Parabrahma, Paramatma, by lecturing, by intellect, or by the study of various shastras. He only reveals his transcendental form by his own mercy to one whom he himself accepts. The use of the word Atma indicates both the soul and the supersoul, the Paramatma. The Atma cannot be realized by exhaustively studying or explaining the Vedas, nor on the strength of an intellectual understanding of the scriptures, nor by hearing the scriptures extensively. A learned person who desires to attain Paramatma can do so only by the desire or mercy of Paramatma. In other words, he reveals his form only to those who choose to worship him as their Lord. Because he is eternally perfect, he cannot be attained by any other method. Bhakti, therefore, is the only medium through which one can attain Bhagavan. Śrīmad Bhagavatam also prescribes the complete renunciation of all endeavor to acquire impersonal knowledge, jnana, which is absolutely worthless and an impediment to attaining the supreme goal. Now there's this verse from Brahmaji. It says, Jnane prayāsa udapasya namantameva jivanti sanmukharitang bhavadiya vartam sthane stita shruti-gatang tanuvang manobhir ye prayasho jita jito pyasita strilokyam. 10th Canto, Chapter 14, Verse 3, Prayers of Brahma. O Prabhu, those persons who do not endeavor for impersonal knowledge, but remain fixed in their position, they do not endeavor for impersonal knowledge, but remain fixed in their position, perform no activity other than associating with saintly persons. While remaining in the association of saints who possess pure love for you, they naturally receive the opportunity to hear them sing the narrations of your pastimes. They then humbly offer their body, mind, and words to honoring those narrations, and do so to such an extent that it becomes their very life. They cannot live without it. O Prabhu, although you cannot be conquered by anyone within the three worlds, you are conquered by such devotees and become subordinate to their prem. Furthermore, while pointing out the futility of endeavoring for impersonal knowledge, the author of Śrīmad Bhagavatam has made a very beautiful comparison. Shreya sritim bhaktim udasyate vibho kleshyanti eke valabuddha labdhaye tesham aso kleshala eva shishyate nanyad yatasthula tushavaghatinam. It's the next verse in the Prayers of Brahma, verse 4. O Bhagavan, Bhakti to you is the main source of all kinds of auspiciousness. Those who give up this path just to cultivate impersonal knowledge simply undergo hard work, suffer pain, and achieve difficulty, just as the only gain of a person who beats empty husk is hard work, not rice. Knowledge of one's relationship with Bhagavan, Sambandha Gyan, is I'm wondering here also, like when it's referring to Gyan, of course, like ultimately Gyan means like unfavorable Gyan means impersonal knowledge, right? But also I'm just thinking for like it also I'm just thinking in this context, I think Gyan Prayas would also refer to just trying to acquire knowledge of anything, knowledge of Śrīmad Bhagavatam and any kind of knowledge of any of the books of our acharyas, the knowledge of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's words, like Jaiva Dharma and so on. But if we do it just for the sake of gaining so-called knowledge, then we're being deceived. And we read that article by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada all on this topic, right? And so then if you try to cultivate knowledge just through your brain and not through praying for mercy, then you'll just deceive yourself, and all you'll get from your study is hard work, and but there won't be any fruit from it. You can memorize the entire Jaiva Dharma by heart, but there'll be no benefit to that. It'll just be, yeah, you won't understand a single word that you've memorized, because you're that's not the way to approach transcendental knowledge. Knowledge of one's relationship with Bhagavan, Sambandha Gyan, is different from and purer than knowledge of the featureless aspect of the Absolute, Advaita Gyan. Oh, and Haribol, sorry, I didn't see you before. Nri Haribol Bhavatarani Mataji, Chatamai Mataji, Rasamanjari Mataji, Haribol. Okay. So knowledge of one's relationship with Bhagavan, Sambandha Gyan, is different from and purer than knowledge of the featureless aspect of the Absolute, Advaita Gyan. So Sambandha Gyan is different from and pure than Advaita Gyan. Absolute non-duality, Kevala Advaitavad, which is a form of impersonal knowledge, is not rooted in reality. This non-dual form of Gyan is wicked and is simply a method to delude the demons. The Gyan that the scriptures glorify as Sambandha Gyan, or knowledge of one's relationship with Bhagavan, is completely different from non-dual Gyan. Sambandha Gyan is extremely pure and natural, and therefore no purificatory endeavors are necessary to attain it. The Gyan mentioned in the 4 seed verses in the Chatushloki of Śrīmad Bhagavatam refers to Sambandha Gyan, our knowledge that the living entity is inconceivably one with and different from Bhagavan, and it is contained in the heart of all living entities. Bhagavan is like a transcendental sun, and the living entity is like a minute ray of that sun. Without acting in accordance with Bhagavan, the living entity, the jiva, cannot be situated in its original transcendental form. Therefore, the constitutional nature of the jivas is to be the servant of Bhagavan. Bhakti sadhan is not in the category of over-endeavor, Prayāsa. Although the constitutional nature of the jivas, servitude to Bhagavan, is dormant in the conditioned stage and must be revived through sadhan, bhakti does not necessitate as much effort as jnana and karma. Can't believe people contest this, like devotees contest Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's direct words. Anyways, so although the constitutional nature of the jiva's servitude to Bhagavan is dormant in the conditioned stage and must be revived through sadhan, bhakti does not necessitate as much effort as jnana and karma. By taking exclusive shelter of Harinam with full faith, the covering of ignorance is quickly removed and the bliss of one's constitutional nature manifests. But a person who gives the desire for Gyan Prayas, or endeavors for impersonal knowledge, a place in his heart, must undergo great suffering. Then, when he is delivered from Gyan Prayas by the effect of associating with saintly persons, the desire to perform endeavors related to bhakti manifests in the heart of the sadhak. Yes, when one is delivered from Gyan Prayas, by associating with pure devotees, endeavors related to bhakti manifest in the heart of the sadhaka. The result of endeavoring for monistic knowledge, for Gyan Prayas. In Bhagavad Gita 12, chapter 12, verses 2 to 5, Shri Krishna instructs Arjuna as follows. Maya Veshya Mano Ye Mam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetas Te me yukta tamamata ye tvaksharam anirdesham avyaktam parupashyate sarvatra gyam achintyam cha kutastam achalang dhruvam sanniyamendriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhaya te prapnuvanti mam eva sarvabhuta hite rata sorry, kleshodikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi katir dukam deha varbir avapyate. In essence, this means those who are fully endowed with the symptoms of surrender and worship me with immense faith are the best of yogis. But those who have fully controlled their senses see everything as equal, worshiping the indestructible, all-pervading, unmanifest, immutable, immovable, inconceivable, formless, and featureless aspect of the impersonal effulgence, which is beyond intellectual understanding. So they are Gyan Prayasis. Those who have fully controlled their senses, all these different qualities, they are Gyan Prayasis. If in their hearts they feel mercy for all living entities, then after great effort and great struggle, they obtain the mercy of my devotees, and at last they attain me. In the latter method of worship, the path of Gyan, one must undergo great difficulty, and moreover, experience a delay in obtaining one's desired goal. This is the result of performing Gyan Prayas. We will now discuss the result of Karma Prayas, endeavoring for karma, fruit of action. The result of endeavoring for the fruit of one's action, Karma Prayas. The result of Karma Prayas, the endeavor to perform the fruit of activities prescribed in the Vedas, is the same as Gyan Prayas. It also cannot cause auspiciousness. The perspective of Śrīmad Bhagavatam 1-8 is as follows. Dharma swanushtita pungsam vishvaksena katasuya notpadayed yadiratim shrama eva hi kevalam. Any spiritual practices and occupational duties that do not inspire attraction for Harikatha, the narrations about Sri Krishna, are simply a waste of time. I like this verse. Any spiritual practices and occupational duties that do not inspire attraction for Harikatha are simply a waste of time. So any endeavor that's anything that we do in any activities that we do, spiritual activities or occupational activities, we should know that we're wasting our time if it's not increasing our attraction for Harikatha. Here, Dharma indicates one's function within Varnashram according to the division of the scriptures describing fruit of action, Karma Kanda. If deep attachment to discussions about Bhagavan does not appear, Mangala just knocked my arm and I lost my spot. Okay, if deep attachment to discussions about Bhagavan does not appear in a person's heart, even after perfectly abiding by one's function within Varnashram, then it is merely useless labor. It is prayas. Therefore, like Gyan Prayas, Karma Prayas is opposed to Bhakti. Haribo Yashoda Didi. Activities, karma, favorable for Bhakti, are not over-endeavor. The conclusion is that the endeavor for the fruits of one's actions, karma, and the pursuit of monistic knowledge, Gyan, are extremely harmful. If, however, a devotee performs the activities of Varnashram Dharma in order to maintain his life in a noble manner, then those activities, being favorable for Bhakti, are considered Bhakti, not karma. This is reminding me of the verse from, what is it? Of the Swanyam Dadashakam. I'll mention it after. Let's finish this paragraph. Swanishta Bhaktas, and there's a footnote, it says Swanishta Bhaktas are devotees who follow the rules and prohibitions of Varnashram. So Swanishta Bhaktas make those prescribed duties and the fruit of those duties obedience to bhakti. Parinishtita Bhaktas, and there's a footnote, means devotees who follow Vaishnav standards disregarding Varnashram rules. So Parinishtita Bhaktas perform activities that are not unfavorable for bhakti, merely for the welfare of common people. And Nirapeksha Bhaktas, those are renunciate devotees, reject popular opinion and perform only those activities that are favorable for bhakti. Endeavors for gyan, including for Sayujya Mukti, are greatly opposed to the endeavor to attain the ultimate goal of life. If Ashtanga Yoga is practiced to attain mystic opulences and to merge into the existence of the Lord, then it also is opposed to bhakti. The regulations of bhakti sadhan and knowledge that one's relationship with Bhagavan consists of an inconceivable oneness with and simultaneous difference from him are innate in the living entities. Such knowledge is therefore known as Prayāsa shunya, are devoid of endeavor. In this way, although karma and gyan are respectable methodologies, they are completely unworthy goals. This will be elaborated on further in the chapter titled Niyamagraha. Okay, pilgrimage to holy places, serving Vaishnavas, and performing deity worship, Sankirtan, etc., are not useless endeavors when their aim is to attain the association of saintly persons. Oh yeah, this is reminding me of a verse by Bhaktivedānta Ṭhākura. Tirtha yatra parishram kevala manera brahm. Okay. Oh, and just on this topic of Varnashram though, if, however, a devotee performs the activities of Varnashram in order to maintain his life in a noble manner, then those activities, being favorable to bhakti, are considered bhakti, not karma. So in the Swaniyam Dwadashakam, there was a verse. How did it start? Narvarne sak. What is it? Navarne saktir me bhavati nahi yar bhakti janitam. Wait, no. Yeah, na dharmo mama ratir ihastek pachirapi. Parang tatta dharme mama jara sharire dhritamidam ato dharman sarvam subhajana sahayam abhilashe. So Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says that I do not have any attachment or inclination towards Varnashram Dharma, so towards Varna, and also not for ashram. And I have no, what is it? What should it be? And never at any time do I have any attachment for dharma or adharma. But parang tatta dharme, no, but until now, my body has been maintained by I've been able to sustain my life through those activities that are through the through Varnashram Dharma. So I only desire that those that Dharma which is which is favorable for bhajan to you. So it's not that he fully rejects Varnashram, but yeah, something like I'm not good at explaining verses. Okay, so but yeah, I reject all dharma and adharma, all Varnashram dharma that is not that does not help me in bhajan. That dharma that does help me in bhajan, I desire that. Okay. The conclusion is that the endeavor for the fruits of one's actions, karma, and the pursuit of monistic knowledge, gyan, are extremely harmful. If, however, a devotee performs the activities of varnashram dharma in order to maintain his life. Oh, wait, we just read that. Okay, so the laborious effort of pilgrimage to holy places is purely toil, and it is also an endeavor imposed to bhakti. But if that same pilgrimage to Krishna's pastime places, is performed with eagerness to obtain the association of saintly persons, with a greed to kindle feelings for Sri Krishna, then it is a limb of bhakti and not a useless endeavor. This is important. So why do we do pilgrimage to Krishna's pastime places? We perform it with an eagerness to obtain the association of saintly persons and with a greed to kindle feelings for Sri Krishna. Only if we do it like that, then it's a limb of bhakti and not a useless endeavor. Otherwise, it's an endeavor opposed to bhakti even. Wow. This being the case, vows taken in relation to the limbs of bhakti are also not useless endeavors, nor are endeavors to serve Vaishnavas, because greed for the association of sadhus or saintly personalities rectifies the fault of greed for the association of immoral persons. Endeavors made to worship the deity are natural, just as the outpouring of heartfelt emotion is natural. The spontaneous, heartfelt uttering of the names of the Lord are alone Sankirtan Prayas. Consequently, because these activities are performed naturally, they cannot be called Prayas. That's interesting. Because these activities are performed naturally, they cannot be called Prayas. They're not like hard endeavor because they're just automatic. They're like, you wouldn't say you're endeavoring to chant the names. It's just automatically you're chanting Harinam. Endeavors for renunciation, vairagya prayas, are absolutely unnecessary. Any slight endeavor for vairagya, for renunciation, is unnecessary, because after bhakti awakens, an aversion to anything unrelated to Krishna arises naturally within the sadhak. This is the teaching of Śrīmad Bhagavatam 127. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayatyashu Vairagyam Jnanam Yad Brahmadarshanam. The meaning is that by performing Bhakti Yoga to Bhagavan Vasudeva, the following arises: detachment from the material world, or detachment from devoid of endeavor, and unmotivated knowledge, or knowledge that one is an eternally realized servant of Bhagavan. Therefore, karma, jnana, yoga, and vairagya, which are impediments to bhakti, do not degrade a person engaged in the practice of bhakti to Bhagavan, because he has given up endeavoring for them. Karma, jnana, yoga, and vairagya, which are impediments to bhakti, normally, they do not degrade a person engaged in the practice of bhakti to Bhagavan, because he has given up endeavoring for them. They just come automatically. So yeah, there will be karma and gyan that if one is focused solely on bhakti, then one will be engaged in karma, gyan, yoga, and vairagya. All these things will come to the person, but automatically they're not endeavoring for them. So then that type of karma, that type of gyan, that type of vairagya is not unfavorable for bhakti. The absence of over-endeavor in bhakti. Śrīmad Bhagavatam 11:42 mentions Bhakti pareshanu bhavo viraktir anyatra chaisha trika ekakala prapadyamanasya yatashnatasya tushti pushtikshur apayonughasam. With each mouthful of food, a hungry, sorry, with each mouthful of food, sorry, I can't talk. With each mouthful of food a hungry person takes, three effects are simultaneously accomplished. He obtains satisfaction, he is nourished, and his hunger ceases. Satisfaction, nourishment, and hunger goes away. Similarly, surrendered souls who are engaged in the performance of bhajan simultaneously experience three effects: the awakening of bhakti that ultimately develops into prema, the direct manifestation of Bhagavan's beloved form, and detachment from anything opposed to bhakti. This verse establishes that bhakti and sambandha gyan simultaneously appear in the heart of a person who one-pointedly worships Bhagavan, along with the renunciation of anything unrelated to Bhagavan. When a devotee feels himself extremely fallen and destitute, and chants and remembers Sri Krishna's names with sincerity, the following sentiments naturally arise in his heart. I am a minute particle of the Supreme Consciousness. I am an eternal servant of Krishna. Krishna is our eternal master. My inherent nature is to be exclusively surrendered at his lotus feet. This temporary material world is merely a boarding house, and it is very harmful for me to be attached to anything in it. As a result of thinking in this way, the sadhak quickly attains perfection. A list of various types of over-endeavor. For a practitioner who has taken shelter of the names of Sri Hari, the following are virodhi tattva, or averse to bhakti: endeavors for impersonal knowledge, gyan; endeavors for fruit of acts, karma; endeavors for mystic opulences, yoga; endeavors for liberation, mukti; endeavors to improve one's material existence, sansar; and endeavors to obtain the association of non-devotees, asatsanga. These endeavors destroy one's bhajan. The endeavor for recognition and prestige, pratishtha, is even more dangerous than these. Although this type of prayāsa is extremely abominable, many cannot avoid it. It is vital in all respects to eradicate such endeavor through bhakti, free from duplicity. Sri Sanatana Gosvāmī has written, Sarvatyage pyaheyaya sarvanartha bhuvaschate karyu pratishthavishtaya yatnam apsparshane varam. Hari Bhakti-vilas, chapter 20, verse 370. Even if one has given up everything else, the desire for name and fame, the pratishtha, which is the root cause of all anarthas, remains. The prime duty is to give up this pratishtha, which is compared to stool. What to speak of touching this pratishtha? Do not even see it, even from a distance. This instruction is extremely grave. Devotees should observe this practice, the chanting of Harinam, with care. No other practice is required. How householder Vaishnavas perform bhajan devoid of prayas. While maintaining their life by performing simple activities that are favorable for bhakti, sadhaks should perform Harinam Sankirtan and Smaran, remembrance, with the context of their relationship with Bhagavan, within the context of their relationship with Bhagavan. There are two ways of performing worship that is free from over-endeavor, as householders do, and as renunciates do. A householder is to maintain his life by performing varnashram in a way that is favorable for devotion, and thus perform bhajan free from over-endeavor. He ought to earn and collect in such a way that he can maintain his family without difficulty. We must never forget that worshipping Sri Hari is our life's only goal, for then there's no possibility of falling down. Whether sleeping or awake, moving here and there, or feeling happy or sad, we will remain engaged in bhajan at all times, and consequently, we will obtain perfection in our worship within a short period of time. How renunciate Vaishnavas perform bhajan devoid of prayas. One second. Renunciate devotees should never accumulate anything. They should remain satisfied with whatever daily alms they collect, and while maintaining their life in this way, practice bhakti. Beginning any other kind of endeavor gives rise to faults. To the degree that the practitioner performs his worship with humility and sincerity, Krishna Tattva, the ontological truth of Sri Krishna, will be revealed to him by Krishna's mercy. In Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10:14-8, Lord Brahma says, Tatenu kampam susamikshamano punjana evatma kritam vipakam redvag vapubhir vididan namaste jivet jivetayo mukti pade sadai bhak. This means, O Krishna, that person who at every moment and with great eagerness knowingly experiences your mercy and accepts an unwavering mind. That person who at every moment and with great eagerness knowingly experiences your mercy and accepts with an unwavering mind whatever happiness and misery come as a result of actions performed in his previous births, and with a heart full of love, a choked voice and horripilation, offers himself at your lotus feet, becomes eligible to attain residence in your spiritual abode, just as a son becomes eligible to inherit his father's wealth. All the various types of prayas, efforts, headed by Gyan prayas, holds no benefit. Only by your mercy can you be understood completely. Lord Brahma further says in Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10:14-29, Atapite deva padam bhojadvaya prasadale shanu grihita evahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno na chanya eko pichirang vichinvan. O Lord, one who attains even a little of the mercy of your two lotus feet can comprehend the essence of your transcendental glories. Others cannot realize the essential truth of yourself, even though they may keep searching for you for many years through Gyan and Vairagya. Hence, without any endeavor, by the mercy of Bhagavan, the science of devotion to him easily manifests in the heart of a sadhak who considers himself fallen and destitute, and who chants Harinam. One cannot realize the science by independently endeavoring for knowledge, even after many lifetimes. One cannot realize the science by independently endeavoring for knowledge, even after many lifetimes. I like this. Without any endeavor, by the mercy of Bhagavan, the science of devotion to him easily manifests in the heart of a sadhak who considers himself fallen and destitute, and who chants Harinam. Chanarapi sunichena, tororapi sahishuna, amanina manitena, kirtaniya sadahari. I love it. Pretty much in any of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's writings, he always brings it back to Harinam, chanting Harinam. I think that's probably like the main emphasis he gives in all of his writings. Yeah. All right, so that is our program for today. I'll do a short Mahamantra and then we will end. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Jai Srila Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Srila Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Jai Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Ki Jai. These 12 articles that he wrote, Ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Jai Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Swaparshad Shri Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Dandavat pranams, Yugal Kishore Kishori Didi, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Krishna Mai Didi, Kana Haladar Prabhu, Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantra Murti Mataji, Nari Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Nitai Mukesh Ji, Chatamai Mataji, Rasa Manjari Didi, Yashoda Didi, Manjari Didi, Haribol. And let's see on YouTube and Facebook. Vrinda Didi, Sumanashil, Ganga Mataji, Vidyalalasa Didi, and I see a few other devotees. Dandavat Pranams. Thank you so much for joining. Does anybody have anything that they want to mention before we end today's session? Wait, oh, I see a bunch of comments in the chat here. Let me just see. Okay, Pradyumna Rule says that one should follow some varnashram in regard. Yeah, well, that's why Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he established Daivi Varnashram. It's not that we fully reject Varna ashram, but we follow those Varna, those rules for Varna and ashram that are favorable for bhakti. And then that is Daivi Varnashram. Yeah. But yeah, it is very important that we follow Varnashram. We're not all Paramahamsas above all that, and so we must follow those rules for Varna and Ashram that's favorable for bhakti. Otherwise, it'll be just total chaos. And so, yeah. Chatamai Mataji says, super helpful to distinguish between the two types of gyan, Sambandha and Advaita. Yes. All right. Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for joining. And what's tomorrow? Wait, Atyahara Prayāsa Prajalpa. Tomorrow we'll read about Prajalpa. That's a good one for me to hear. So yeah, all right. Haribol, Dandavat pranams. Just okay. I'll give you just little updates about the songbook every now and then, just while I'm working on it. Yesterday, I wrote a comment on Facebook asking where everybody thinks I should put the Jagannath-ashtakam, and so Sundar Gopal Prabhu he said that during Purushottam month, and they sing first the Jagannath-ashtakam and then the Chora Gaganya Purushashtakam in Chaitanya Mat. And I've heard other mats doing that as well. And so I now I know where to put Jagannath-ashtakam. But then one lady, I think Radha Madhava Didi, she mentioned that in Krishna Chaitanya Mission, the temples of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Puri Goswami Maharaj, they sing the Jagannath Dev Stava written by Śrīla Sanatana Goswami every day. And so I thought, oh yeah, we should add that too. And so just yesterday, I translated it. It's short; it's only 5 verses, small verses also, and now that's going in the songbook. But yeah, I love getting just little pieces of advice like that from people, and then it's like everybody's contributing towards the songbook. So, one thing I wrote a post on Vina Devotion yesterday, just like giving little updates about our program and the songbook, and one thing I wrote at the end of that post is if anybody, or at the beginning of the songbook, we're going to include different quotes by our acharyas on various topics related to kirtan. So, like I was looking for quotes on how we shouldn't try to make money off of kirtan. There's lots of quotes for our acharyas on that. The mood to approach kirtan, how we should pray to the authors of the kirtan before, So there are so many different topics related to kirtan. And if there are any kirtan related quotes that are very, that has inspired you and that you think we should include in the songbook, please send it to me. And yeah, you might find it in the songbook in the next printing. We're gonna pull we're gonna gather a bunch of quotes together, and then I guess like with our team, we're going to select which ones and give titles for the different quotes and like that. So yeah, please send me whatever inspiring kirtan quotes that you have. All right. Haribo. Dandavat.